It has been a while, hasn't it, YouTube? 10 years have passed since I left, but I'm back making videos once again. Fellow friends, a very warm hello and welcome. Tonight, in my first video after returning, I would like to talk about Xenoblade Chronicles as to why this game is my favorite game of all time. Thank you for joining this video, and let's begin our adventure through the world of Bionis. But before we dive into our adventure though, there's a little warning. If you talk about Xenoblade Chronicles, you are often very limited to what you can say due to spoilers. And I've decided to only spoil minor details which takes place at the beginning of this game. If you are content with that, you may proceed watching. So Xenoblade revolves around a war where the robotic mechons are hunting down the human homs as food. And the homs have this mystical Monado sword as their only hope to counter the mechon army. And one day the Monado shows a vision to our main character Shulk. And you will receive many visions during your playthrough, constantly teasing and motivating you to keep on going. And this is just one aspect of the game that makes it so unique. Other factors that contribute to the experience are the overworld, music, and of course the voice actors of this game. And for that I would like to introduce Zord to you, one of the early bosses of this game.
Juju and the others! Tell me where they are!
You want the brat? Well, he's right here!
Juju!
He's still alive, but don't think he will be for long. As for the others, well, I just couldn't help myself. I ate them all up!
You can really tell that the voice actor of Zord is enjoying his role as a villain. And yes, you heard it correctly, these are all voice actors from the United Kingdom. And the fact that Nintendo of Europe did the localization for this game was almost unheard of. Because North America would almost always get the game first in the Western world, meaning they would do the translation dub for a game. So to hear something else than American voice actors was a pleasant surprise for me. And these voice actors from the UK were just absolutely amazing. And because of that, let's watch another cutscene of Zord.
I'm Zord, your host tonight.
Zord! So you have a name?
That's what they all say. Can't say that I remember it myself.
What's he talking about?
Oh yes, it's good to see fresh meat on the table. These colony folk just didn't fill me up.
If you have played this game, you know exactly what this all means. And I was amazed by how much foreshadowing there was. It suddenly all made sense. How different was it when I first played through this part, and I was non-stop theorizing why the mechon needed the homs as food. And I also thought about why Zord didn't seem to know what his name was. With him I thought he was a kind of a newly built general with the knowledge to speak. And maybe that's the reason the enemy thought to give him a face and a name as well to have some more homs features. And this is just one of the many aspects of the story that got me obsessed with it. Certain things may not make sense right away, but eventually they will. Now it is time to show some actual gameplay. I've pre-recorded this and I'll point out some aspect of the battle system. You can go just right into battle, no loading screen whatsoever. You will see different kinds of attack at the bottom of your screen called arts, and you just simply select the attack you want to do and the character will do it for you, simple as that. One vital tactic you will learn early on in the game is the break toppled daze tactic. If you do it correctly, the enemy will be knocked out for a few seconds, unable to attack you, and this is vital in beating stronger enemies. Let's move over to the chain attack. Once the party gauge is full, you can trigger a chain attack. You can do a minimum of 3 attacks in a row, and it will get multiplied with every attack if you choose the same type of attack for each character. This way you can do massive damage. And here we have visions. Yes, these are not just limited to cutscenes. Even though Shulk with the Monado is not in the party right now, you are given the opportunity to prevent this attack from happening. Although harder to do without Shulk, it isn't impossible. I was in doubt for a moment here, but decided to do Dunban's special talent art Blossom Dance to finish things off. Once the battle is finished, your group will automatically heal back to full health, no food or a night in the inn required. Now let's have a look at the overworld. For that we are going to Satorl Marsh. From the start of the game you can open up the menu and just select the place to go where you have been before with skip travel. As you can see, this place is kinda bland, nothing special. But if you change it to nighttime through the menu, you will get a total different experience. Just listen to the music and enjoy the mystical scenery. Oh, by the way, another nice feature. You see these enemies not attacking me, right? They are aggressive, but because I'm at a higher level, they won't bother attacking you. If an enemy is 10 levels lower than you, it will just simply ignore you. Such a nice feature. We have arrived at the Nopon refuge, and I'm here because I want to mention one very fun thing in particular. There's a chain of side quests where you have to bust up the Kingpin drug lord. Yes, apparently this Nintendo game lets you get high on MDMA party drugs. Well, not you, but the NPCs. And it all starts here with just a generic sounding mission in which you had to bring a suspicious looking item over to Nopon village, only to discover that you are a drug smuggler later on in the game. So please don't skip this side quest when you come to this area. And now comes the moment that decided Xenoblade wasn't just a game for me. Something happened so unexpectedly and I would be taken away by it, and started to play this game non-stop for hours, and due to spoilers, I cannot show you the actual cutscene. But I have an alternative for you, which takes place before the moment. And if you've played the game, you most likely know which event I mean.
Get out of here! Shortcut is stupid! Hold on! The Monado! Sorry I kept you waiting. Down back! Whoa, yeah! The Monado! So this is why you weren't at home. I thought so. This is what I was waiting to see. Ready, lads?
This was just the beginning of the adventure. And my story with the game goes back to the summer of 2011. Back then, my grandfather passed away in June. I graduated from secondary school the same month, and I was also getting ready for my first year of university, so it was a very, hectic period that felt so strange. And I was really in the mood for some distraction, and I knew about Xenoblade because I've seen it several times in a game shop by the end of September. The cover looked nice, and I was doing some research on it, and decided to buy it, together with pre-ordering The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. But I actually didn't play it, because the first period in university is always intense, and I think that sounds very familiar if you have studied or are studying. The game just laid in my room for some time, and in November I got the call from the game shop that Skyward Sword was in. Went to collect it, played the game for many hours, loved it, but I've been at the mice during the Christmas holiday. Not long after that I thought that I should give Xenoblade a go, and never had I guessed that I would make such a great impact on me. The story and the world of Bionis just took me away from reality, and I'm actually glad that I played Skyward Sword first before Xenoblade, and not the other way around, because I just want to say that I'm happy how things went back then. And this concludes my little story of Xenoblade Chronicles. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition is released for the Nintendo Switch since the 29th of May, and I hope you will grab the game and have an unforgettable adventure through the world of Bionis. Thank you for watching and coming along on this personal journey of mine. Take care, and we will see each other in the next video.